What's going on, all you minties? Uncanny Omar here from Near Mint Condition, the home of collected editions. It is October. It is also the Hidden Gems segment. That means we're going to be looking at graphic novels that don't get a lot of love, but all have some kind of horror theme to it. It's about time we started this. Been wanting to do this all month. All right, so let's get started. Welcome back, everybody, to one of my favorite segments that you all help create. That's right. This is the Hidden Gems segment, where I talk about some graphic novels that don't get a lot of love, don't get a lot of spotlight. You may have heard of some of these, most of these, maybe none of them. And if you have, let me know in the comments down below and what other hidden gems you think. But this being October, I like to take this time to focus more on horror-centric, scary stories, sci-fi stories that have a horror twist to them. And some of these are actually pretty new, some of them are older, and some of them I'm surprised I have not talked about. And you may see someone help me in one of these. I may sneak another one in. I usually do 5, but maybe this time we'll do 6. Before going any further, though, please don't forget to smash that like button, subscribe if you like what you're listening to, if you like what you're watching, and ring that bell for notifications. All that helps with our YouTube algorithm and our channel keep growing. So let's go ahead and get started with this particular Hidden Gems. Warning in America by Magdalene Visaggio and Claudia Aguirre. This one is printed by Oni Press. And yes, that cover definitely gives that They Live vibes. This is an all-in-one, and so that means that there's nothing after this. And it's definitely for older teens. So this is a story about 4 best friends. They're called the Six Sisters. There's Nancy, there's Ellen, there's Ashley, and Veronica. And they're all kind of like the badasses in this little bitty town in Ohio. This all takes place in the year 1983, so yes, love that. And these are the kind of girls that steal things, they make out under the bleachers, break the rules, get in fights. And aside from dealing with the normal pressures of growing up, crushes on friends, and lack of parents, they're dealing with an even bigger issue. The very beginning, the principal's talking about there's another missing teen. This makes it the 4th missing teen in the last 2 weeks. So there are some disappearances going on in this small town. And you may be wondering, why is this horror-centric, and why is it in the Hidden Gems? Well, because it kind of took me by surprise where this went. I guess it shouldn't have, based on that cover. This is basically, when you break it down, a story about some kick-ass girls fighting an alien invasion. And that's just one of the twists. There's another big twist in here that happens later on, but you can find out for yourself. But I did want to make sure that you knew there are aliens involved. It's not just a crime story. The book has snappy dialogue, it has good characterization. I really enjoyed the artwork by Aguirre because it has a cartoony look to it. However, it's purposely done so you can be put in that false state of security because no one is safe in this book. So I guess think Stranger Things or Paper Girls. And this is only available in trade paperback format, all in done. And again, from Oni Press. There's no follow-up. And when you're done reading it, you may want to read some more because I know I wanted to follow some of these characters into another story, but sadly this is all there is. Dragon by Saladin Ahmed and Dave Acosta. This is a self-published book, so only available through their Kickstarter. So at this time, I just want to give a big thank you to Ross for sending this my way. He's one of my viewers and noticed that I never hauled it. I talked about it a couple of years ago when I found out about the project, and for some reason I just forgot about it. I know that Wonder Man, he loves this book, and I think she might have done an old reader, new reader on it. So this is an oversized hardcover through Kickstarter, and it is all written by Saladin Ahmed. He's the gentleman that did the Miles Morales series and the Miss Marvel series, and it is all drawn by Dave Acosta. And this is all set during the dawn of the Ottoman Empire. So it's not just for horror freaks, it's also for you history buffs, because there's a lot of research that went into this. Ahmed went way out of his way to research a lot of the things that happened. Now, don't let the title fool you, because you're not dealing with dragons in this. You're dealing with Vlad the Impaler. That's right, we are talking about Dracula, but it's a pretty unique Dracula story, one that I don't think has been done before. So you have three main characters. You have Adil, who is your fallen older Muslim warrior. You have Marjorie, who's a zealous young Christian nun. And you also have the prince, who, well, he has secrets of his own. Now, all these people must overcome their bigotries, their internal bigotries, to work together to take down Dracula. The artwork by David Costa is stunning. There's some horrible imagery in here, and I mean horrible in a good way, things that will stick with you. The only thing I can say negative about this is that, dang, I wish it had been longer. Like, this particular hardcover, half of the book is just extras like sketches and pinups and story, or actually the script. I just wish they had taken the characters a little bit further, because there were things that were starting to shine in here that I wanted to see explored. But again, this is only available through their Kickstarter, and it's only available in this hardcover. I know that through Substack you can get it digitally, but this is the home of collected editions. Why would you want to get it digitally when you can get a physical copy? Kaiju Max by Xander Cannon, published by Oni Press. How in the hell have I not talked about this book? How has it been 3 years since I picked up this first volume and not talked about Kaiju Max? Oh my gosh, this is just freaking amazing. Okay, so I've heard this compared to Orange is the New Black meets like Godzilla, which I don't think that's a fair comparison, because Orange is the New Black is funny to me. It's whimsical. There are some bad things that happen, and this is not a review of Orange is the New Black. But this is more like Oz, like the HBO series Oz, like real gritty prison stuff. And not just Godzilla, not just those kind of monsters, but also just big, giant creatures. Because there is a goat creature in here, so like the Chupacabra, the Jersey Devil, the Sasquatch. So not just Godzilla type of monsters. So what the basic premise of this is, and why it's called Kaiju Max, is that all these monsters that break rules are taken to this maximum security prison. It's an island. So think Monster Island if you're a fan of Godzilla films. And in this prison, the warden and the guards all have these Ultraman-like powers. So they have this armor that can make them big and keep an eye on these prisoners. And Electrogore happens to be the new monster, the new kid on the block, the fish, the guy that's fresh. And, you know, we see things through Electrogore's eyes. And every one of these characters has a background. There's some tear-jerking moments in here that I wasn't expecting. Do not let the cartoony art style fool you, because it does have a cartoony art style, so you might think, oh, this is for kids. I can read it with my kid. No, I said Oz, didn't I? Because there's a lot of adult elements in here. So you have prison messiahs preaching their religion. You have substance abuse. That's right. They don't really use drugs, but it's an interesting take on the drug problem. There's interspecies rivalry. There's sexual content in here. And again, you can find out for yourself. I strongly recommend this one. I don't know how I did not recommend this one before. There are a total of 6 seasons, 2 seasons per deluxe edition. The deluxe edition is the way that I own it, but also available in trade paperback. The deluxe edition has teeth, so of course I have to own it that way. And the 6th season is the final one, so there should be one more deluxe edition. And holy crap, like, Xander actually knows his kaiju. There are so many Easter eggs for people that have watched these movies, these Godzilla movies. Like, there's a character here named Apewell, and his son, his Zuki-ass son. So anybody that, you know, Kazuki. Anyway, there's a lot of Easter eggs in there, but you don't need to know that much about giant monsters to enjoy this. There are little footnotes to help you along the way in each and every one of these deluxe edition pages. So 100% recommending this one. It does have horror elements in it. That's why I snuck it in here. And it was time, about damn time, that I put it into one of these hidden gems. But that is Kaiju Max. Maybe when the 3rd volume comes out, I'll do a thorough overview of all 3 volumes. Now, I've been talking about mature content because it is horror season and Halloween season, but I did want to point out a book that is for all ages. And I have
Adjectiveless Alicia.
Adjectiveless Alicia joining me for this, because you're all ages, right?
I'm 10.
You're 10. That's sort of all ages. So this is the Simpsons Treehouse of Horror Ominous Omnibus from Abrams Comics art. It is just available in this hardcover slipcase. It's got glow-in-the-dark elements to it. It's really cool. We did an overview of it, but what is it about this book that makes it all ages, Alicia? Like, with a little bit of a horror element to it?
Because it's funny.
Because it's funny. But I mean, what is it that makes it special and has a little bit of like? Does it have any scary stories in there?
Not really.
Not really. But why is it called the Treehouse of Horror then?
Because it's The Simpsons. Like, they have in the seasons, like in the show, every, like, season has, except for season 1, every season after season 1, like, it has a Treehouse of Horror in Halloween time.
Okay, and it's tradition, because that's actually how we started watching The Simpsons. And usually they have, like, sci-fi horror elements and fantasy elements in there. What are some of your favorite stories in here?
I like one like where Lisa gets superpowers.
Didn't they do that in the show? Like where Lisa and Bart get superpowers?
Yeah, this one was different.
Okay, so speaking of that, are these new to the comics or are they
They're new.
They're new? So there are none from the show that have been adapted to comic books?
No.
What about the art? Is it all Matt Groening that drew all this?
No, because there's different art styles, but it's still The Simpsons. So.
Okay. So is it more cartoony like The Simpsons, or is it comic book art?
Yeah, there's some comic book art in there.
Well, it is a comic book, so I would expect so. All right, so let's be serious. It's all ages. Is there any bad words in here?
They had the H word, because it's the place.
The H word, like horror? It better mean horror.
Like, because it's the place.
The place, okay. The place, yeah, all right, that gets a pass. Because not every parent is the same. Some parents, like, to make sure their kids don't see anything bad. I'm a little less lenient when it comes to things like that. So I know The Simpsons sometimes likes to cross the lines. That's why I was asking about the language. Is that the only word that you can remember? Like, would you be okay telling your other 10-year-old friends to read this?
Yeah.
Yeah? Really? Okay. So thank you so much, Alicia, for helping me sneak in one extra book to recommend. I normally do 5, so that makes it
6.
You're so good at math. You're so good at math that you can't high five, but you're so good at math. Thank you so much, baby. House of Blood by Zach Chapman and various other creators. And this is published by Chappie Fiction. All right, so I want to give a thank you to Zach Chapman for sending this to me. From time to time, people that self-publish their books or artists and writers send me books. This one came at the right time because I just got back from New York. I had been sick. I opened up the mail and there was something that came in that was self-published and it had a horror theme to it. So I was immediately drawn to this because this does something that I enjoy in horror books, and that it makes it into an anthology. So this is an anthology series, kind of like things like EC Comics, like Vault of Horror, Tales from the Crypt, Haunt of Fear, or Creepy and Eerie magazine, or even House of Secrets, House of Mysteries, those books, but that all kind of borrowed from EC Comics, but you throw in that splash, that charming creep show vibe, and oh my gosh, it does not shy away from the fact that it borrows from all that. I love it. It is modernized, of course, so you see stories in there about an app. There's an app that turns kids into trees. And when the app is deleted, the trees stay around and people have to cut them down. So it's got those kind of horror elements in there. There are some reoccurring characters like Marco, who's a little kid who loses his eyesight because he ordered a pair of X-ray glasses and he noticed that his neighbor was committing murder. So he comes back later on in another story where his virgin blood is able to bring people, to make fictional characters come to life. But this was a lot of fun. It's it doesn't take itself too seriously, so you could tell that Chapman had a lot of fun writing the stories, and the art varies from something semi-photorealistic to something cartoony. So if you're looking for an anthology, this can only be purchased right now through his website, and I'll leave the link below where you can purchase it, but I highly, strongly recommend it. It's only 1 volume so far. I hope there's more, and it's only in trade paperback, but yes, absolutely recommending this one. And to wrap up the list is Razor Blades. This is by James Tynion and Steve Fox and a bunch of other creators. Published by Image. Now, this was originally published, it was self-published with limited to 500 of each issue in magazine-style format. This is another anthology series, so I had to talk about this, but this one is more widely available through Image Comics now, so you don't have to deal with limited editions. You just have to make sure you get it before it sells out. So this is like James Tynion just having fun with a bunch of his friends. Like, actually, in the introduction, he talks about being inspired by, well, you can find out for yourself what magazine exactly, but it's a lot more fun if you read the introduction. But he talks about the inspiration for this and why there needs to be a magazine like this, because there really isn't one. So he teams up with people like Marjorie Bennett, Becky Cloonan, Rom V, Michael Walsh, Scott Snyder, and Tini Howard, Vita Ayala, and Lonnie Nadler, Steve Orlando, just to name a few of the creators that helped put this together. So each one of the stories is about 5-7 pages long. I love the different variation in this. This has not just comic book or graphic novel style, but there's also prose. There are poems in there. There are galleries. There's an interview that actually has some illustrations in there. It's pretty unique in the way that this came out. And I'm kind of jealous of the people that got the magazine, because I didn't even hear about it until about a year ago, until they were putting this book together. So it's the first 5 magazines all put together here, 400 plus pages. And it's just kind of like a smorgasbord of just talented people working in comics today, and being challenged to write a horror story that hasn't been done before. So it varies. Like the very first story that actually Tynion did is about a washing machine that kills people and it hungers for flesh. But the one at the end of the first magazine, the one by Rom V, I thought was really interesting. It's a take on the end of times and how much through our human history we've had this fear of the end of times, talking about the Mayan calendar. And the actual lesson there is really cool. And there are some stories in here you're going to be reading like that are 2 pages long, like I don't get it, or that's too pretentious. But then there are some that will stick with you, and there's some horrifying imagery. Again, horrifying in a good way. I figured this was the best way to end this particular segment this time, because this was one of my favorite ones that has come out. And it just came out recently, so it's still widely available. So if you're still in the mood for something creepy and eerie, magazines, check this one out. Now, if you're interested in purchasing most of these books, don't forget to check out our sponsors. If you live in Europe and are interested in buying and pre-ordering Omnis, then you should definitely check out Walt's Comics Shop in Berlin, Germany. They have the cheapest pre-order prices for Marvel and DC books within the EU, flat rate shipping of €12 for all EU countries, bulletproof packaging, and all emails will be answered within 24 hours. They offer a huge selection of out-of-print books. Just head over to waltzcomicshop.com for more great deals and rare titles. And for a limited time, you can use the code nearmintcon, all one word at the checkout, to get free shipping for all EU countries with your first order of over €40. Walt's Comic Shop, your reliable source for Omnis and premium collected editions in Europe. This episode is brought to you by cheapgraphicnovels.com, your online home for graphic novels and collected editions up to 50% off cover price. They have excellent shipping and prompt and helpful service. Check out their bargain deals for up to 90% off cover price. And don't forget that CGN also takes pre-orders. That way you don't miss out on the hottest releases. And they are currently running a special promotion for you Minties. If you're a first-time customer, after receiving your order confirmation email, reply back to that email and let them know Near Mint Condition sent you their way. They will then apply a free shipping promotional credit to your next order in the US. Cheap Graphic Novels, your source for the hottest books with the kind of deep discount, quality shipping, and customer service that will keep you coming back for more. And that was it. That was the hidden gems for the month of October of 2022. If time allows, I may do what horror books I've been reading lately that I've been enjoying, and maybe I'm going to try to sneak that in there. There's a lot to read. But let me know in the comments down below what you've read recently that has creeped you out. I may have included it on this list before. I may have actually put it in my favorite, like my, what was it, top 20, I think, or top 15 favorite horror comics of all time. That might be the list where you find it. Or maybe I've never heard about it and you're introducing me to that particular book. So by all means, leave the comments down below. This is my favorite time of year, or one of my favorite time of years. I like a lot of the time of years. But if you have any questions, comments, leave those down below. Check out our Patreon and Spreadshop. Seriously, could not be doing this without you wonderful folks. Everyone stay healthy and safe out there. Much love.